Let's face it, some games are pretty tough. Take Studio MDHR's awesome, fairly new title Cuphead that just went double platinum, boasting gorgeous animation, a fantastic and lively soundtrack, and notably challenging gameplay. If you're the kind of player, or journalist, who's currently struggling to get past the introductory level, don't worry any longer. Hey guys, Arcade Cloud here, and today we're counting down our top 10 easiest video games. If you're new to our channel, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with some friends. It's free. At number 10, we have the Super Smash Bros. Series. Now hold the pitchforks. I know this might be controversial, so hear me out. Nintendo's classic Smash Bros. Series makes our list not because high-level play doesn't exist or there aren't difficult inclusions in the series, but because of how easy it is to pick up and play. It's a great casual game to play against friends, and contains multiple pretty user-friendly characters to start off with, like Mario. The objective is pretty simple and obvious to new players, and it has a certain flow and rhythm to it that other fighting games haven't really been able to replicate, although they've certainly tried. I mean, come on. The game doesn't even have combos. You know those super complex things that are in every fighting game other than Smash? Okay, maybe not every fighting game, but you get my point. The game has 2 action buttons. Really not that hard to pick up and start playing. Overall, Smash is a really solid series, one we at Arcade Cloud love, and we are super excited to see a new installment on Switch. At number 9, we have Pokémon Sun and Moon. Released in November 2016, some of the newest installments to the Pokémon franchise, preceding Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon of course, follow the typical Pokémon formula of 3D turn-based battles alternating between the battle screen and the overworld screen, in which the player can interact with various NPCs in a vibrant world, while bringing features such as Alolan forms, the type effectiveness indicator, and a new Pokédex. Despite its enormously high sales figures, Pokémon Sun and Moon were criticized for being easier than other installments in the Pokémon franchise, with the general consensus of fans of the franchise mentioning that all legendaries are pretty easy to find, among other things. This is good news to more casual players of Pokémon, but obviously upsetting to the fans who are looking for a new challenge in Sun and Moon. Other members of the Pokémon community have mentioned that the game isn't significantly easier than the previous titles, but that those criticizing the game for its difficulty were younger and new to the franchise. Whether the game is actually easy or not is still up in the air, it seems, but leave your thoughts in the comments on this one. At number 8, we have Kirby's Epic Yarn. Probably taking the winner of the cutest game on our list, Kirby's Epic Yarn is a 2010 game developed by Good Feel and HAL Laboratories that came out on the Wii that sees protagonist Kirby banished to Patchland, where he's transformed into a piece of yarn. It's an incredibly adorable game and differs from other Kirby games in the avenue that Kirby doesn't have the ability to suck up enemies in this installment, but instead uses a whip ability to attack enemies and throw them. GameSpot clearly had the same idea as us, mentioning that the story levels are way too easy in their review of the game. And yeah, they are. Epic Yarn is an enormously charming game and one that's fun to play, and it also just happens to be a pretty easy adventure to boot. At number 7, we have Animal Crossing New Leaf. I really hope you guys aren't taking this list as the worst games, because it's not, it's just that they're easy. I love Animal Crossing, please don't hurt me. One of the most delightful casual games out there, New Leaf is the 4th main installment into the Animal Crossing Slice of Life franchise, in which the player assumes the role of mayor of a town of animal people. It's a genuinely heartwarming and lovely casual game to play, and also includes a pretty low difficulty level, being a game in which the player explores their town, holds conversations with the various NPCs to be found in the world, and performs various activities to do with the maintenance of the town, such as public works projects. Not a lot of critique targeted the difficulty level, as it's kind of expected that an Animal Crossing game will involve easy gameplay. It's kind of in the game's description, and it's the core appeal for a lot of people who play this game. At number 6, we have literally every Telltale game ever. Don't get us wrong, here at Arcade Cloud we love our narrative-driven games, and we were just as blown away as anyone else by the Walking Dead series, but they're not terribly difficult to play, with their QuickTime events being by far the hardest parts. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, after all the focus of Telltale games isn't on the gameplay, but rather on the story. Telltale, for those who don't know, are a development company from California that mainly release episodic adventure games based on licensed properties from TV or film. Their first widely commercially successful game, The Walking Dead, pulled the company to a much more narrative-focused approach with their games, the player's choices having an impact on the future of the story as a whole. The Telltale style is also visible in other games not developed by Telltale, for instance Don't Nod's Life is Strange series. At number 5, we have Angry Birds. Developed by Rovio Entertainment entertainment and heavily inspired by Joey Betts and Chris Condon's Crush the Castle, Angry Birds would go on to become a mobile game heavyweight, receiving positive reviews and receiving more than 3 billion downloads by July 2015. The franchise exploded after the runaway success of the original, seeing at least one entry into the franchise every year since its original release in 2009. Angry Birds, although surprisingly satisfying to play at times, has almost the easiest gameplay possible, dragging your finger slightly to the left and then aiming a bird in the direction you want to fling it, and then just letting go. Not super captivating, if you ask me. It's probably the simple gameplay that makes it kind of a novelty addition to your phone's home screen, but its well-designed visual and audio styles mark it out from other similar casual mobile games. At number 4, we have Smurf Rescue in Gargamel's Castle, the 1982 game by Coleco. This game has 3 controls: left, right, and jump. The game consists of you, a Smurf, walking from the left to the right of the screen through a few different areas before jumping onto a skull to rescue Smurfette. Believe it or not, Smurf Rescue in Gargamel's Castle was met with very positive critical reception, with Creative Computing Video and Arcade Games describing it as truly good fun, and then going on to win the award for Best Video Game Audiovisual Effects in the 4th Archie Awards in the Electronic Games magazine. The game makes our list because it can be beaten in 3 minutes. And you thought the future was learning an entire game's storyline in 3 minutes. Try beating one in 3 minutes, jeez. Upon completing the game a few times, the game ramps up the difficulty by adding various enemies such as spiders and bats, but the general simplicity of this game and the time it takes to beat it earns it the number 4 spot on our list. At number 3, we have Atari's classic Pong. One of the earliest arcade games, Pong is an extremely simple monochromatic version of tennis released on an upright arcade cabinet, the most common in America. The game was created in 1972 by Alan Alcorn, who was tasked with creating it as a training exercise by Atari's co-founder Nolan Bushnell. Pong became a surprisingly big success and was the first commercially successful game. Although it doesn't feature most anything you'd see in a fun and classic video game, Pong is iconic and played as a paramount success in launching the industry we all know and love today. We don't have to talk about why this game is on the list, right? I mean, it's Pong. You know Pong, the game where you move the paddle up and down in order to hit a ball, with the goal being to reach 11 points. Really about as simple as it gets, and although it's nothing too special, we wouldn't be here making this list if it wasn't for this game's creation, most likely. At number 2, we have Wii Sports. Oh, you knew this was gonna be on here. Nintendo's Wii Sports was released in late 2006, 11 years ago, though it really doesn't feel that long. The game was included with the purchase of the Wii console, making it the first game packaged with a Nintendo console since the Virtual Boy. For all 3 of you who haven't played this game, you have played this game. It's the 4th best-selling game of all time. Wii Sports contained 5 different sports simulations: boxing, bowling, golf, tennis, and baseball, but really only existed with the intention of showing off the Wii's motion controls. Despite its existence as kind of a gimmicky game, it was super fun to play, and was developed to have something appealing to both gamers and non-gamers, which it definitely succeeded at doing. Instead of prioritizing graphics, Nintendo focused largely on the motion controls and making the game as simple and easy to pick up and play as possible, which is the reason it takes their number 2 spot. The game went on to do fantastically well in sales, breaking platinum within 2 months, and currently sits at over a massive 85 million copies sold. Critical reception from various review sites are generally positive, with critics praising it for what it was: simple, accessible, fun, and classic. You really can't hate Wii Sports. And finally at number 1, we have Solitaire. Well, Klondike, but it's more widely known as Solitaire or Patience, though those really just refer to the genre of the card game as opposed to the actual card game itself, which is called Klondike. Patience card games are really any card games that can be played by a single player, whereas Klondike is the game you probably played a whole bunch on your computer as a kid. Though not strictly a video game because you could play it with real cards, Solitaire comes pre-installed on every Windows computer from Windows 3.0 to Windows 7. And let's face it, you can play Pong in real life too. It's called tennis. The earliest known recorded instance of someone playing the game was in 1783, and the first collection published in 1870. For these reasons, Klondike also happens to be by far the oldest game on this list. Klondike is a particular kind of patience game in which the cards are laid out like so, and the player is tasked with sorting the cards into stacks by suit and number. Klondike makes our number 1 spot because of how easy it is to pick up. Your grandparent, who probably doesn't know how to turn on a computer, could easily figure out how to play this game on one. I mean, all you do is click and drag. It's not that hard. And man, this was my jam as a kid when I had Windows XP and my internet went down. That said though, you'll probably notice that a lot of the games you play aren't possible to win through sheer bad luck. In Klondike, there are 4 possible hands: winnable games, theoretically winnable but lost games, unwinnable games, and completely unplayable games. Under 4 in 5 of the games you play in Klondike are theoretically winnable, and that number actually gets lower due to bad moves from the player. 1 in every 4,000 hands are completely unplayable, where the player can't move even a single card from the beginning of the game. But that doesn't make it hard, that just means you gotta restart the game a few times. And there you have it, that's our list of the top 10 easiest video games. Do you agree? Did we miss something? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more great videos from Arcade Cloud on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Take care, and game on.